Good morning, my favorite TR community. Hello, hello. Your daily reminder to just show up. You don't have to be perfect to show up, and you're going to be judged. So you might as well be judged showing up. And I'm back. There it is. I want to give you my story. I want you guys to know a little bit about me. A little more than I have shared, maybe. And my story is one of coming from the depths of despair, where I was on the brink of destruction, and my greatest shifts came in those moments where I was on the brink of destruction. I'm going to be open. I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to tell you like it is. And I'm going to ask you to put a hashtag live or replay and tell me where you're hopping in from. You are across the world. This is global. So let's hear who you're representing. What country are you representing? So if you don't know, my name is Sarah Weiss. I am a coach. I am an entrepreneur. I'm in network marketing. I am a servant leader. I do all these different things, and I've learned a lot in my years, but it wasn't always that way. It wasn't always that way. I was, about 6 years ago. Wow, time's flying. 6 years ago, I finally told the world what I was hiding from everyone. So I was wearing a mask for 26 years. I was 26 years old, and I told the world I don't identify with my gender. So, there's labels for that. I don't own any labels or anything, but that's what I told the world, and the world kind of turned their back on me. So I went into this victim mode. I was in a very rough place mentally. I was a single mother of two, and I was trying to stay motivated enough to keep, the house clean and the laundry done and them fed and all this stuff. And they were really a big reason why I kept going, kept moving forward. There was a spark inside me that said, don't give up. But I really wanted to give up. I wanted to lay down and just let life kick my butt into submission. But there was a spark that said, you can't let that happen. And I mean, deep down inside, I wanted better for myself. I wanted to be free. I wanted to give my kids freedom. I wanted to take them to Disney World. I wanted to make more money. I wanted to be free of all the debt, the crushing debt. And I wanted to feel good about myself and what I've accomplished. I wanted to be proud of myself. I wanted to be able to say, I did this and I overcome these challenges to change people's lives. There was something always about me that I wanted to help people. I wanted to be there for people. Put a 1 in the comments if that's you too. If you're someone who's always wanted to help people and guide and give advice and insight and show people that there's a better way. If that's you, put a 1 in the comments and drop some hearts. Let's see the hearts flying in. So that was me. And the problem was that I had it felt like I dug this hole and I created a victim mentality for myself, feeling like, everyone turned their back on me. The universe is against me. God is against me. I spent years asking, what the fuck is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? I did 50 times a day. It was really hard. So I fell into this big victim mentality. I blamed God. I blamed the universe. I blamed my friends. I blamed everyone on everything. I didn't take responsibility. Therefore, I didn't have my power. I gave it to everyone else. And the moment that I really said enough is enough and I was fed up with being fed up was when I sold my body to pay for rent. That did something to me. I felt, and again, I'm not bashing anyone who does that. I didn't choose to do that. I didn't want to do that. And it was very disempowering for me and it hurt. It hurt me so perfectly that it flipped the light switch and that moment said, this will never happen again. It was so terrible. It hurt my soul. So I'm going to hold back the emotions because I want to tell this story. So I got fed up with fed up, and I'll tell you right now, your greatest shifts will come in the brink of destruction. So if you're on the brink of destruction right now, be prepared for your greatest shifts. Embrace that. So I finally said, okay, enough is enough. I got to figure this out. And the first step I took was to find my gratitude again. At that point, I knew what gratitude was, and I knew what it could do for somebody. Something that my husband actually said. You know what gratitude is? It's recognizing your worthiness to receive. Think about that for a second. When you're grateful for something, for someone, for someone's gift, when you're grateful for it and you feel that love of the acceptance of the receiving, you're recognizing your worthiness to receive. That's huge. So I started to be grateful. I looked around in my room. I was in a townhome just above ghetto level, infested with bed bugs. And I was a victim to my own home at that point. I hated it. I hated my life. And I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, I gotta find my gratitude. first thing I looked at was a doorknob. I was like, okay, I'm grateful for the doorknob. Why am I grateful for the doorknob? You know what I thought? The first thing I thought was every morning my daughters grab that doorknob and open it to come into my room and give me their love. That was like one of the most pivotal moments in my gratitude. I'm like, oh my gosh, there it is. And I started looking around my room and I started finding all these things and reasons to be grateful for what I had instead of angry about the things I didn't. And that shifted me. That started to shift my mindset and get me going. Now, some people right here, you might not be on welfare. You might not be in that position where you're on the brink of destruction. But if you feel like you're plateauing, find your gratitude. It is a really great way to start so that you can expand yourself. So you could be a plateau in your corporate world and just asking, what am I grateful for? Put in the comments what you're grateful for right now. Especially if you haven't done that today. What am I grateful for right now? In any situation, whether it's a situation you don't value, you don't like, pop it in the chat. What am I grateful for right now? So that opened me up. Okay? And I mean, that sounds so simple. There's much more to this. I have some big secrets that I'm going to share. At that moment, I realized that I needed help. And that was hard for me. I was like, I have this pride, and I'm like, I got this. I'm one of those I got this girls. I got this. I dropped that bullshit act, and I said to myself, I need guidance. I know that if I had the right mentor, the right guidance, the right recipe for success, that I would follow it. I would run with it. I would take advantage of it, and I would move. And I started looking for mentorship. And I actually put it out there on Facebook. I spoke to some friends of mine. I'm like, I need to find someone who can give me some guidance. And I think it was within a week or two that a mentor found me. A good friend of mine referred me to someone, and I started talking to this guy who was a very successful person who didn't need to give me free time. He gave me a couple calls for free. And he taught me some things about mindset, about manifestation. Oh, these secrets changed everything. He taught me a couple ways to really reframe mindset on manifestation. Instead of thinking about desires, all the desires I had, like, being debt-free, having a new house, taking my girls to Disney World, all these things, he really helped me shift into purpose. What's your purpose in life? Why are you on this planet? What lights up your soul? What lights your soul on fire? That's what you should live for. He never said you should or you need to or any of that, but like that was how I took it. It's like, I need to do this. I need to focus on what would light my soul on fire. And for me, it was always being the light in people's darkness. I want to show them the way. I want to give them the light so that they can find the way out of the darkness and into their greatest life ever. So I started to focus on that. What it looked like to me, how it felt to me, what it smelled like, looked like, sounded like. All the senses engaged. Created something I call a purpose sphere, so I could it was so real that I could hold it and see it. I started to really take that serious, and all day long, I started to replace my beta thoughts with alpha thoughts. Now, this is a huge secret number 1 here, guys. Secret number 2, because secret number 1 is gratitude. It always is. Secret number 2, I started... let me mute my phone. It's going crazy right now. There. So, I started to focus on shifting from beta to alpha, wavelengths, frequencies. So what my mentor taught me about beta and alpha was beta is a disempowering frequency. It's a very low vibration. And every thought that we have comes from seeking information. Every thought is basically stemmed from a question, whether it's a subconscious thought saying, what color is that plant? That plant is green. Where do I go? Who do I talk to? How do I do this? Those are disempowering questions because you don't have an answer. Finding the answer is empowering, but that's beta. What's amazing about us is we've been born with something called intuition, instincts. So he compares that to alpha. Alpha is the knowing. He said, you have a knowing. You've been gifted with this universal knowledge. You're tapped in. How else do you know the answer to questions before you ask them sometimes? We're tapped in. So he invited me to tap into that. I was like, holy crap, how do I do that? Who here wants to tap into their alpha, their knowing, their instincts, their intuition? Who wants to? Put a hands up in the comments if you want to. Tap into your alpha. Listen up, okay? If you want to tap into your alpha, you got to train yourself. You got to reprogram yourself. And first of all, understand that it's there, that you have this knowing. Who here, and put a 1 in the comments, if you've ever asked for someone's opinion but already knew the answer? For a girl, it's like, should I wear the red dress or the blue dress? And you go up to a friend, you got to get validation because you know you want to wear the red dress. but you don't know for sure. Your beta kicks in, starts to doubt, needs validation, needs proof, needs all this stuff, even though your heart or your ego or your alpha already knew the answer, but you go and you ask for validation. You already knew the answer, but you ask for validation. The validation is the beta, seeking the questions and the validation, the proof, the ego, the comparisons. But your alpha already knew. So you have it. You all have it. How do you tap into it? It's a programming thing. You got to program yourself. You know, if you've never done this, then it's not your fault. This is part of what's been taught and passed down to us. So what I started to do was replace all beta thoughts with my knowing. And I knew what my purpose in life was. I created such a crystal clear purpose sphere on it that I was able to replace all of my doubt, my fears, my comparisons with others, my envy. Anytime I noticed myself asking, how am I going to do it? All these questions that would come up, I would just get rid of them and I'd replace them with my knowing of where I'm going. My knowing of where I'm going. My purpose sphere. If you feel called to, share your purpose in the comments. So I started to focus on me on stage, in one-on-one interactions where I spent my life fulfilling my purpose of helping people become the greatest versions of themselves. So I visualized it. I didn't know how I would do it. I didn't know where I would get the skills. I didn't know who I would need to talk to. I just knew that I was going to do it. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I just knew I was going to do it. And I just kept replacing all beta thoughts with my alpha. Replace it with the alpha. Replace it with the knowing. And trusting myself. I had to learn to trust myself so that I could be open to knowing instead of letting the beta in and needing validation, needing proof, needing all these other things when I'm already connected to the knowing. And I started to do that. 2 weeks after my first call with my mentor teaching me some of the secrets on how to do this stuff, and there was more to it than that, and I've kind of expanded on that. But 2 weeks after, I went to a job interview and I met someone. I added them to Facebook because I thought they were really cool. And a couple days later, she posted a picture with this guy who's got his arm around her. A multi-millionaire I had looked up to 5 years earlier in a previous company, a network marketing company I was in. And I was like, whoa, she knows him? This guy was a rock star on stage I could not get to. So I commented and I said, wow, Body by Vi memories. The guy was a top earner in Body by Vi. That's the company I was in and looked up to him. And he reached out to me. He's like, hey, Sarah, how's it going? I was like, oh my God, small time millionaire I looked up to and stuff. And we had this conversation. At the end of the conversation, he's like, you're awesome. I want to invite you to my first Canadian business acquisition meeting that I'm having for a brand new company we're launching. And it was that night. He's like, it's tonight. There's only going to be 7 people. You're welcome to come if you'd like. I'm like, I have plans. And they're canceled. I'm coming. I went to this guy's mansion with 6 or 7 other people, and he presented this new business, this new network marketing business, which I'm not with anymore, but he presented this, and I ended up having to come up with $500 to get into the starting pack, which I didn't have, but I knew I had to do this. My knowing kicked in and said, you got to do this. So I sold my GoPro, I sold a couple things around my house, and I borrowed $100 from my grandpa, and I found a way. You know, when you want to find a way to something, you can find a way. Money is not a problem if you have the desire to figure out a way. And I figured it out. I became his top recruiter and a top leader in that company. Didn't take long. And I continued to live in my knowing and allow my instincts to lead me and guide me. I learned something else, another secret. If you were to talk to your future self, you know, first of all, you got to know what future you is. What does she look like, or what does he look like? How does he feel? Does he or she dress differently, hold himself differently, present differently, have a higher level of confidence? So in my purpose sphere, I saw myself in a different light. So I would talk to future me, and future me always said, you know, buckle up. You're going on a ride, but here's the proof that everything you go through works. Here I am. So it's like I had this proof that I become this powerhouse businesswoman with loads of confidence who spoke with ferocity, who changed lives every single day of her life. I got to see her. I got to know her. Put a 5 in the comments if you want to see a greater version of you, and if you're going to today, put a 5 in the comments. Now, get to know that person. What she would tell me is everything that happens between where you're at there, where you are now, and where you are in the future has to happen if there's a timeline, we all think it's like this, but really it's just one straight line. Now, everything that happens on that line has to happen. That gave me this assurity. It's like, okay, so every pothole you hit, every roadblock, a challenge, you're going to overcome it because look, here I am. So don't stress about it. Just walk through it. Just move through the challenge. Don't worry about figuring out how. It'll come to you. You just got to keep moving forward. Don't stop. Don't let any of it stop you. Don't let any of it derail you. And don't let any of it forget who you are becoming. Don't let any of it convince you that you're not going to get here, because you are. Just keep going. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. So I just kept swimming. And it was funny because, just reframing my timeline like that, when a challenge arose, I already had the pre-frame that all I got to do is just move through it. I don't got to worry. I don't got to let it convince me that I'm not going to be able to pay rent. This was a very consistent example for me that tested this. I would be a week away from having to pay rent, and I'd have the money in my account, and then a bill or something, an unexpected expense would come in and take money from my rent. Panic! Panic! Panic, 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 panic. And I would go, I just gotta move forward, and know rent's gonna be paid. Instead of thinking, what if I'm out of my ass? What if I can't take care of my kids? What if I can't afford food? What if? I instead said, what if rent is going to be paid? What if this doesn't mean I'm being derailed? What if this doesn't mean I can't become who I'm thinking of? Okay, all will be well. And ideas would come in, unexpected opportunity would show up, whatever I needed to make sure rent was paid. It just happened. How? Because I knew it would. I didn't have to worry about the beta thoughts coming in saying, well, what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? They would show up. The beta thoughts always show up, but I kept replacing them with the alpha, the knowing of where I'm going, the knowing of where I'm going. Are you guys getting this? You guys getting this? This is something that you can do to shift your reality. Completely reprogram yourself into the alpha so that you know where you're going. And you don't have any doubts. You don't have any questions so that the beta stops taking over and leading you astray. Who here wants to live in the alpha? Hands up. You can. You can. This is really huge, guys. Speak to future you. Make sure you know who future you is, and let future you reassure you that you're gonna get here no matter what. Just gotta walk through it. Just get through it. That's all. That's all. In this process. So I would say about a year later, I came into an opportunity that within months I was a six-figure earner, first time in my life. Within a year and a half, I was a six-figure earner from welfare, bedbug infestation, hurting mentally, emotionally, my soul was in pain, to feeling exhilarated, joyous, changing people's lives, left, right, and center. Shortly after that, I think another 6 months down the road, I started my own coaching business. And then I started writing a book, which became a #1 bestseller within 6 days. My coaching business started to explode, and I'm not even certified. I learned NLP, created a 6-figure coaching business within months. I'm the happiest I've ever been. I met my soulmate last year and married him during the pandemic, where I launched 2 other 6-figure businesses. Because of the knowing. This is huge, guys. Now, I mean, it just keeps getting, I'm surrounded by miracles. I've surrendered my need for control. I've allowed God, the universe, me, and myself, and my intuition to lead the way without needing to know the how, without needing to ask all the questions, but allowing it to come to me. I've now had massive breakthroughs. I've broken a code on how to program people. It's like a gift. It's like I was given a gift from God. Like, here you go. Here's another way for you to fulfill your purpose in life of changing the world. It's just been given to me. I didn't ask how. I didn't know it was going to come. I didn't know the idea was going to happen. I didn't know the opportunities were going to show up. But I knew, and I still know, who I am becoming and where I'm going. And it's funny, because I've become that. I've become that person. I've entered that vision in my purpose sphere, and now it's expanding. It's getting bigger. It's getting greater. It's getting funner. So I continue to hold on to it. I continue to look to who I'm becoming and loving my present, being grateful for what I've created. And this is another big secret, guys. Look around and be grateful. That was secret number 1. But as you're growing, a lot of us say, well, I want growth. Okay, well then step one, recognize your current growth. Recognize the growth you have already done. Who's doing that right now? Recognizing the growth you've already done and going, wow, I have grown so much. Thank you. Thank you, me. Thank you, God, for giving me the challenges that I needed to grow. Another secret that I was taught by one of my incredible coaches, Carolyn Rim, was to be able to look around and say, you know what, if nothing changed, if I didn't grow anymore, if I didn't achieve anymore, if I didn't have any more big, massive breakthroughs, could I be grateful with what I have right now if I had to spend my life like this? I have so much ambition, but yeah, I found a way to look around every day and go, wow, if this was all I could accomplish and if I had to stay here for the rest of my life, I could find so much gratitude in it and I could be so grateful for it. Grateful for the growth, grateful for how far I've come, grateful for my happiness, my joy, my children, having already taken them to Disney World. Gratitude is everything, guys, because that brings you into an incredible state. And Tony Robbins, he'll tell you, when you're in a peak state, when you're in a better state, you make better decisions, you create better results. That's like the baseline to all of this, guys. If you create a better state, you're going to create better results. You're going to make better decisions. You're going to feel better. You're going to make more connections. Who wants to make more connections and feel more love? 10 in the comments. Just throwing out random numbers now. Hey, put a 69 in the comments if you want to feel more love and connection. You can. You can. If you have any questions on how this works, feel free to reach out or ask questions in the comments. I'd be happy to share because I want to be that light in anyone's darkness to remind you that you are incredible. You are. And all it takes is the willingness. It doesn't take massive intelligence. It doesn't take all these prerequisites. It takes a willingness and openness. That's it. Sometimes it takes you being on the brink of destruction so that you can have your greatest shifts. So if you're on the brink of destruction right now, be grateful because your greatest shift is about to happen. Wow, it's funny. I'm just about to end the live, and now everyone's hopping on because it got approved. You know what? I'm going to go into another lesson. How about that? I'm going to go into another lesson. So anyone who's watching right now, please rewatch this. This was huge. I shared some of the deepest secrets of my success in life, and it started with very simple things that we all understand, some gratitude. But I also taught about alpha and beta, how to shift from the alpha thoughts into the beta, the knowing, your intuition. The knowing that you have, that you've been gifted since birth. You didn't have to earn it. You literally were born, tapped into a universal knowledge. Why do you think you have intuition? It's a gift. And, I'm going to ask this again. If you rewatch, you'll see this, but I'm going to ask again. Who here has ever asked for someone's opinion on something, even though you already knew the answer? Put a 1 in the comments if that's you. You asked for someone's opinion, even though you already knew the answer. Needing that validation is the beta. Questioning, doubting, comparing. The alpha already knew. It already knew. So now that everyone's coming on, I want to share something else that I didn't share in this first part of the video, and I highly recommend you take a look at this because this is stuff that was mentored to me by a multi-millionaire on how to get myself out of being on welfare and into the most explosive success of my life. A big thing too is you gotta play to win. You gotta play to win, guys. Too many people are playing it safe, stuck in survival mode. And this also complacency mode. It's the same thing, complacency and survival. Because if you're complacent, you're trying to survive and hold on to whatever you got without that urge to get beyond it, even though you know deep in your soul that there's so much more for you to do. There's so much more you're worthy of. Too many people are playing to survive. In fact, in sports, if you play to hold a lead, you're less likely to win than the team that's playing to win, throwing the big plays, the Hail Marys or whatever. I'm inviting you to start throwing some fucking Hail Marys, guys. You want to win big? Then you can't play to survive. If you play to survive, guess what you're going to create? More survival. You're going to continue to survive. Hey, everyone hopping in. Thank you so much for coming in. Let me know where you're hopping in from, what country you're representing today. So I've learned this because I spent a lot of years playing to survive. Making sure I had enough money to pay rent. Making sure I had enough money for food. And it's like I had to hold on to this so I could survive and just keep my feet above water, keep my head above water. The more that I had that mentality, the more I created more survival. I've got to survive. I've got to make sure I have enough to pay the bills. I kept manifesting just enough to pay the bills, just enough to keep me in survival mode. And I just slowly went downwards and downwards because I was becoming more scared. More fear, more doubt started to come in. And it wasn't until I said, fuck this. I don't want to survive anymore. I want to win. I was complacent with survival. So even if you're not in this position where you're on welfare or whatever, and you're looking at how do I improve my business, I've plateaued. You gotta play to win. You can't play to survive. You can't play to just hold on to whatever you're trying to hold on to. You gotta play to win. You gotta throw the fucking ball. You gotta take some risks. You gotta go big or go home. So I started to do that. I started to take risks where, actually I was presented this business opportunity. And for me to partake in it in a big way, I needed to spend money that I didn't have. Okay, I'm on welfare at this point, and I'm shown this opportunity that my soul, my alpha, knew I had to be part of. And my mind was panicking. My beta thoughts were kicking in like, how are you going to make this work? Are you sure you can do it? You failed at so many things. Are you sure you can do this? My alpha said, you got to run with this, baby. So to buy a $500 sample pack in this network marketing thing I used to be in, I had to convince myself to play to win. I had to use welfare rent money, as a single mom of two to buy a $500 pack of coffee samples. If I told anyone that, there would be judgment. You're a single mom of two on welfare and you're using your welfare money to pay for coffee samples? Are you fucking insane? But I was playing to win. I didn't want to get stuck in where I was at, playing to survive on welfare. So of course people would judge me if they knew it, but I didn't tell them until I started winning. So I got this sample pack, and I started sampling out this coffee, and I was playing to win now. I wasn't just, let's see how it goes, and dabbling. I was playing to win. I was sending them to everyone. I was getting testimonials. I was putting myself out there so that I could win, throwing the Hail Marys. And what happened was incredible. 6 months later, I was a six-figure earner. I moved out of that house, left the bedbug-ridden, infested place. I took my daughters to Disney World for the first time I'd ever been there. I grew up in a low-income household. I took my daughters to Disney World, and I cried. I ugly cried the whole time. So did they. No, they were so happy, but they cried for their happiness too. But me, I was ugly cried, like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this. Because I played to win. I stopped fucking playing to survive. I bought a new house, bought a new car. Shortly, I think a year later, I found and married my soulmate. Met him at UPW. And I continue to play to win now. And I have moments where I make moves that are a little scary, but my alpha knows. Man, our soul always knows. It always knows. And because I've trained myself to go from beta to alpha, I know when my alpha is going, hey, you gotta do this. And sometimes those moves seem scary. And the beta will start to panic and say, are you sure you can do this? You failed at this type of stuff, or you failed before. Why won't you fail again? Da, da, da. But my soul knows. It's like, you gotta do this. You gotta do this. I can't see any of the chat. Hey everyone, there we go. I'm starting to see. Hello. Hi Liz. Hi Katharina. Or Charina. Awesome. So, this is huge, guys. It changed my life. And, if you're really sick and tired of surviving, a lot of people don't realize that they're manifesting, I just want to pay my bills. I just want my bills to be paid. You're creating that. That's what you're creating. Just paying your bills. Think bigger. Think of abundance. Don't just want to pay your bills. Don't just want comfort. Do you not have a bed? Do you not have a couch? Do you not have a couch to sleep on? Even if you're not in your own home, you can find comfort. So you have it. You've already manifested. A lot of people come to me and they're like, I just want to be able to pay my bills. I'm not greedy. I just want my bills to be paid. And I ask, are they not paid? Yeah, but it's hard to pay them and I'm struggling. But they're paid? Then you're manifesting exactly what you just said. Mind blower, right? Mind blower. You're manifesting exactly what you just said. So think bigger. Play to win. Stop playing to survive. Play to win. Go big. Go big or go home. We live this life. We have an opportunity to make the most of it. Are you making the most of it, or are you making the least of it? You're making the survival of it. Stop doing that, please. I urge you to play to win. Just worry about making enough to pay bills. I want to be so abundant. I want lots of extra money. Then that is what you're going for. Forget the bills. Forget the bills. You know, and this was a big, big thing for me. And again, if you watch the recording of this video, I talk a little bit more about this. But when I started to shift my thinking, I was tested. So if I had just enough money to pay my rent and a week before rent comes up, an unexpected expense comes and takes out money, now I start to panic. Oh my God, I don't have enough for rent. And the typical response is, well, what if I'm on the street? What if I can't afford to pay my bills or pay my kid or feed my kids and all these things? What if? This was the test, and this is where I had to tap into my knowing. I don't know how. I just know I will pay it. I just know it will be taken care of. I just know I'm going to fulfill my purpose in life. I don't know how. I just know. I had to really program that. It took a little while. But every single time that happened, rent was paid. Either I had an incredible opportunity, an incredible idea, someone showed up and helped, supported. I didn't need to know how. I just needed to know that it was going to happen. I'm telling you guys, you have power beyond measure. Power beyond measure that you don't even know you're tapped into. Just accept it. Accept that you have that power. You don't even need to understand it. You don't need to know how it happens and how you're connected to it. Just know that you have it. Know where you're going, know who you're becoming, and allow it to happen. Stop resisting. Have a conversation with future you, who, again, you got to know who she is or who he is, what he looks like, how he shows up, all of this stuff. Like, really get to know future you. Future you will tell you on your timeline, hey, this is where you're at, point A, and you want to go to point B. Point B, you're talking to point B right now, and she says, I'm incredible, I feel amazing, this is how I show up, I'm a powerhouse, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a that, here's how it feels, here's what it smells like, here's what it looks like, here's what it sounds like. Get to know her or him. She's going to tell you this. All along that timeline, from point A to point B, it all has to happen. Every roadblock, every pothole, every challenge, every person who tries to mess with you, it has to happen. It's not going to stop you. It's just got to happen. I'm the proof that you're going to get here. Get to know me. Hello, here I am. All these challenges that are about to happen to you, and guess what? Buckle up. It's going to be a ride. You're going to be tested. All you got to do is move forward through it. Keep stepping forward. Keep moving forward. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. You're going to get here. I'm the proof. I made it. Buckle up. Enjoy the ride as much as you can. Be present in the moments. Be grateful as hell. And you're going to get here. You'll be here in no time. The more that you believe that, the faster it comes. I am the proof. 3.5 years ago, I was on welfare. Broken version of my soul. This year, most explosive success I've ever had during a pandemic. I have multiple 6-figure plus businesses. #1 bestseller 2 times. Happiest I've ever been. Found my soulmate and met him last year. I'm the fucking greatest version of myself. How is that possible after 3 years ago I was on welfare? In a bed bug written. Easier said than done. Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's easy. I've failed at everything I've tried. How do I change my mindset to make things work? Tap into your alpha. Rewatch this video, Jeffrey. I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying that you can do it. If you're on the brink of destruction right now, good, because your greatest shift is about to happen. Rewatch this video and watch what happens. It can happen really fast. Use your thoughts as tickets, okay, guys? Every thought you have is a ticket. Use that ticket to advance yourself. It's like a ticket to an event, a ticket to an idea. Use your thoughts as a ticket. So right now, if you have a thought, and if it's in disbelief, you're buying disbelief. And you're going to create more disbelief, more doubt, more fear. Okay? Every thought you have, use it as a ticket. It's like a currency. Your thoughts are like a currency. Every thought you have is buying into something or selling something. You're selling your faith. You're selling your belief, and you're giving it away. Buy into something better with your thoughts. Use your thoughts to buy into belief, to buy into your future, to buy into your gratitude. Use your thoughts wisely, guys. Watch the video over again and share, be engaged, play full out, just like Tony says. Watch this video again, okay? Be in the comments. Be active, be engaged. Because engaging with what I'm about to share, what you're about to watch, is engaging with your future, engaging with your happiness, engaging with your knowing, your intuition. engaging with the things that's going to change your life and design your reality the way you want it. Play to win, play full out, show up, forget about being perfect. Just be here, be active, be engaged. You're in life. This is incredible that we've been gifted this like reality and you get to shape it. You're a creator. Every thought you have creates something. So show up. Forget about being perfect. Just show up and create. I love you guys so much. Play to win. Thank you guys for hopping on. Please reach out, connect, add me to Facebook. I love to just show up and you know, it's no conditions. I just want to share some value with you guys. If you ever want to connect, I'm here. I love you guys. Have a great day. Mwah.